Hi, I'm Bo Blanchard, Precision Ag Manager with Blanchard Equipment Company. Today I want to talk to you about the fan drive on 7760 and CP690 cotton pickers. Of the inspections we've done thus far, over 90% needed the bearings, seals, and belt replaced. In this video you're about to see, done by James Orr, James will go through the process of doing the inspection and replacing the parts. Should you feel uncomfortable doing the inspection and replacement, Blanchard Equipment is offering for $750 to do the inspection and replace the parts. This will expire March 31st, 2018. This inspection is important to help prevent any costly downtime. And if you have a certified Blanchard Equipment technician perform this inspection and parts replacement, you receive 1 full year of parts and labor replacement through warranty. Again, that's 1 full year of both parts and labor replacement through warranty.
It's James Orr with Blanchard Equipment. Today we want to make a video on how to inspect your variable fan drive on a 7760 or a CP690. For time-wise convenience, we've already removed the shields and removed the bottom plate and removed the bottom of your fan shroud. So what I found easiest, they do have a knob to release the pressure off of your driven sheave, but if you take this line off right here and have you a bucket to catch it in, that'll let your sheave move in and out. Now we'll go on the inside of your picker and show you what we need to do next. So we have your picker here, and we're going to inspect your belt. We're going to inspect these sheaves. Next thing we need to do to remove this belt is we'll remove these 2 bolts and remove this spacer and install these bolts again to relieve the pressure so you can remove your fan belt and remove this sheave. Now we have removed these spacers and reinstalled these 2 bolts to give us the slack in our belt so we can remove our belt. So now we just need to remove this sheave. Put this down. Then you can remove your belt. Now at this point, if you only wanted to remove and replace your belt, if you've already greased it that year, you can remove and replace your belt at this point, just like this. And you can reinstall the belt if that was the only thing you needed. So we're going to go out now and we're going to inspect this belt and we're going to measure. Now we're going to inspect your new belt, and your new belt measures 38 millimeters. So now we'll measure your old belt, and your old belt is measuring 36 millimeters. At 36 millimeters, 2 millimeters of wear, your belt needs to be replaced. At 4 millimeters of wear, you'll start getting fan speed codes. You'll get codes and you know for a fact that your belt needs to be replaced. Now we're going to inspect your driven. If you take and move it back and forth like this right here, see if you have any wear on your shaft. And this one looks pretty good. We can tell it's been replaced. So we will remove this later, but right now we're going to remove your driven. That's the driver. And I suggest, since this is spring loaded, remove it a little bit at a time for safety, because it is spring loaded. And there it goes. Now there's a shim, if you notice, popped out, fell out of here. That shim has to go back in here. That is important to put that shim back in its right place. And we'll remove the spring. And now we're ready to remove this sheave. Now I'll move this back and forth. My shaft looks good. And we'll pop this off. I'll inspect my splines. My splines look good right here. And I'll inspect my splines in there. You'll see a better video of it on the outside. Now this is your driver. And as you can see, we looked at your splines on the inside, they look good. And these splines look very good. This is a new one. These splines look very good. That's what it looks like when they're new. This also looks pretty new. The splines look good on this, and they look good on your shaft on the inside. Well, I have run into some that weren't so good. So I want to show you what a bad one looks like. If you can zoom in right here, you can see these splines and see how sharp they are, how sharp the splines are at the teeth. This needs to be replaced right now. This is wore. It's going to fail before you finish picking. This one right here, when I took it apart, no splines. It is already worn, and the belt was just slipping on the inside of here, and it needed to be replaced. Now, at this point, you would, if everything was fine, you could put it back together and grease it. If it was good, but your bearings were wore on the inside and your seals, you got a lot of grease coming out like this right here, like this one, or some grease leaving from here, you would want to replace your seals. And we have packs of seals and bearings right here. So the bearings look fine on this one to me. So I'm going to show you right quick how to replace the seals. As you can see, we've already installed the bearings and the seals on the back side, installed the bearing on the front side. Now I want to show you how to install the seals for this remaining seal. All of them installed the exact same way. So we'll just install this one so you'll know how to do it. Once you get it installed, it's a good idea to take you a peek around and just make sure that it's installed real good all the way around that. We'll be installing the same seals and bearings in this one also. They're the same part numbers, same everything. Now we're going to reinstall all of our parts. First we'll start by lining this up and putting our new one on. With those new seals, sometimes it's pretty tight. And then, if you remember where we marked this one, let me find my mark. We'll just make sure we line our marks back up. And make sure our mark is lined up. This tower went inside that piston, as you can see. It won't go all the way back. That's one thing to let you know. If you can't, you may be better looking from that side, but you get these two marks lined up and you'll see this tower line up with that piston. Then you'll put your boot back on install your boot, and install your belt. You'll install your new belt. Now what I've done is I've installed that sheave and tightened it screwed down just so this belt will still slip. What you want to do is make sure you don't tighten that sheave and have that belt pinched between these two sheaves. Next, I'm going to torque it at 27 foot-pounds, and I've already set my torque wrench just to make it and I like to go 180 out from my first one, kind of like you're doing a tire, and then I go around at the end and re-torque every one to make sure. Occasionally we'll come across the drive that has plugs where your grease fittings go, and out your shaft where your vent goes, it'll have a plug. If you contact your parts department, your Blanchard's parts department, they'll be able to get you your grease fittings and your vent that you need to install. Take those plugs out and install your grease fittings and your vent in the end of your shaft. Now this is the grease that we're recommending you to use. There's the part number and extreme heavy duty synthetic grease. Now John Deere has changed it from 500 hours or annually greasing it to every 100 hours on your pickers, on your CP690s and your 7760s. So if you have old literature that tells you every 500 hours, now it's down to every 100 hours. At this point, we want to reinstall your fan and your shroud and all your panels. Once again, they have changed the intervals from 500 down to every 100 hours. And if you have any questions, please contact your local service department at Blanchard. Thank you very much.